Hi guys, welcome to another video by Darklink Does Math. The content in this video is geared towards 6th grade math standards. These videos are public so that my students may access this information easily, as well as anyone else looking for math help. I hope you find this video helpful. If you do not, I hope you can find what you're looking for elsewhere. There's a lot of information out there. Be aware that I'm not perfect, so there may be the occasional mistake. I apologize in advance if this should happen. So today we're going over 13.2 median, or the middle number of a set of data. Median is one of three averages. There's mean, median, and mode. Or you can call them measures of central tendency. So, our specific definition of median is a summary of a group of data where you look for the middle value, and this is important, when the numbers are listed least to greatest. So when the numbers are listed least to greatest, you can't just look for the middle number when the numbers are just however they are. They've got to be listed in order. All right, we're going to go over just a few different strategies of finding the median or the middle number. So our first example, Barbara drew three numbers from a box and wanted to know the middle value or median of these values. Her three numbers were 12, 5, and 16. What is the median of the number? So first, you have to list your numbers from least to greatest. I can't just say, oh, 5 is in the middle, so it's my answer. No, it's not. So we've got 5, 12, and 16. Now, obviously, I can see which one's in the middle, but while these problems are easy, I'm going to go over a couple different strategies. Strategy number 1. Crossing out. It's basic. It's useful when you have very few numbers like this. So cross out 1 on each side until you get to a center value. Be careful. If you have an odd amount of numbers, like 1, 2, I have 3 numbers, you will have one definite middle. If I have an even amount, you will have 2 middle numbers and you will have to do something about that. So that's one strategy, and I would recommend using it when you have a few amount of numbers like this. Strategy number 2. I would only use this strategy if you have a lot of numbers. We're talking 50 numbers, 100 numbers, many numbers. So what do? First, you take the number of values. So I have 3 numbers, so 3 values, and you divide it by 2. In other words, divide it in half. We're looking for the halfway point. So 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. Now, if you have a decimal, you have, or your second step will be to round, and you're going to get, in this case, when we round to the nearest whole number, you're going to get 2. What does that mean? It means the second number is in the middle. The second number is in the middle. So if I were to go back to this list, 5, 12, and 16, I could count first number, second number, 12 is in the middle. Now, did I need that for this particular example? No. So when would I use this strategy? I would use it if I had a lot of numbers. Let's say you had 230 numbers or 231 numbers. Divide it by 2 and you could quickly figure out which value is going to be in the middle and count until you get there immediately, instead of crossing until you get to the middle. All right, so let's answer this. What is the median of the numbers? It is 12. So 12 is the median. Next example. It's a continuation. Barbara drew a fourth number from the box. This number was 19. What is the new median of her set of numbers? So we need to make sure our numbers are listed from least to greatest. So we had 5, 12, and 16, and now we're going to add 19. So 5, 12, 16, and 19. Again, let's go over strategy 1. It's the basic crossing out until you get to the center. Now keep in mind, I have an even amount of numbers, 4. So I am not going to have one middle number. So what do I do? So first we need to make sure we don't go crazy on crossing out. I cross out once, I stop. If I were to cross out 12, I would think 16 is my middle number, but it's really not. I have to have the same amount of crossed out numbers on both sides. So I have two middle numbers. What do? We take or find the mean of these two numbers. We're going to summarize them using a different type of average. So we're going to add them, so 12 plus 16, and divide by the number of values, 2. What's 12 plus 16? 28. What's 28 divided by 2? 14. Now, let's see what strategy 2 would place us at, since it kind of tells us which number is going to be in the middle. So, strategy 2. Again, use this strategy if you have a lot of numbers. So, first step, we have 4 values. We're going to divide by 2 because we want a halfway point. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now, obviously the second number is not my middle. So, what do you do when you get a whole number? It's because it's whole. You're going to take that and the next one. So, because it's whole, the second and third number are in the middle. The second and third number are in the middle. So if I go back, first, second, third, that means those two are in the middle. That doesn't mean 12 and 16 are my answer. It just means I now have to do this step, but I am able to locate them. Again, would I use this strategy for this particular example? No. This was short, a few amount of numbers. I was able to cross out and find them. Now, there is an extra strategy you can use. This applies when the middle numbers, if you have 2 of them, for example, are close together like 12 and 16 are. So, special note on cases like this. So let's look at those numbers. 5, 12, 16, and 19. I found my 2 middle numbers to be 12 and 16. Now, if I look at what's in between those, I'm going to get 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now I'm going to look at the middle of those, and I get 14. So I just keep looking at the middle of the middle of the middle. So our answer is 14. What's the new median? The median is 14. All right. Next example. The dot plot below shows the number of children in 7 families living in an apartment complex. Each dot represents one family. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 families. Find the median number of children. So in other words, we're summarizing how many children are in each apartment or house. All right, so find the median number of children for the families. First, we need to see what our numbers are and list them from least to greatest. So this dot right here, that means one family has 0 children. These 2 dots means 2 families each have 1 child. These 2 dots, these families each have 2 children, and these families have 3 children each. So these dots are numbers of children. So those are our numbers that we're going to list from least to greatest. So I have 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3. All right, let's just use strategy 1. So we're going to cross out first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I have an odd amount of numbers, I'm going to have one middle number. So 1 number crossed, 2 crossed out, 3 crossed out. I see one definite middle answer. Now, how would the second strategy apply? I would take 7 values, divide it in half. I'm going to get 3.5. Because it's a decimal, I round, and I get 4. That means 4th number in middle, which was the case, 1, 2, 3, 4th number. Okay, so the median number of children, so I'm going to say the median is 2 children. Now, what does this mean? We are summarizing a group of data. So we're summarizing how many children each family has. So we're saying in summary, each family has 2 children. Yes, some have fewer and some have more, but we're summarizing. That's what mean, median, and mode do. All right, next example. 4. The dot plot below shows the number of hours Mrs. Hayford spends on exercise each day. Each dot represents a day. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of exercise. Find the median number of hours Mrs. Hayford spends exercising. So again, we are summarizing. All right, let's figure out what our numbers are. So this day, Mrs. Hayford spent 1 hour. These 3 days, she spent 2 hours each, and so on. So let's list our numbers from least to greatest. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, and 5. All right, let's use strategy 1, crossing out. So 1, 2, 3. So I have 2 numbers in the middle. What do? I'm going to add them. So 2 plus 3, divide by how many there are, 2. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Divide by 2, and I get 2.5. Now, let's look at that special note that I mentioned earlier. So let's list our numbers real quick again. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, and 5. So again, we had 2 numbers in the middle. They are so close together. So if I zoom in, basically, and think, all right, 2, 3, what's in between? 2.5. So same answer, but this you can use as kind of like a shortcut. Again, this only applies when your numbers are super close together and you have 2 in the middle like that. All right, so let's answer it. Find the median number of hours Mrs. Hayford spends exercising. We're going to say the median is 2.5 hours. So, in other words, we're summarizing that she spends about 2.5 hours each day exercising. Some days more, some days less. All right. Next and last scenario. Ms. Archer took a survey to find out the number of hours the students in her class spent at the public library in the span of 2 weeks. Each dot represents 1 student. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids. Look at this person way over there. All right. First, we're going to find the mean of the set. So, not median, mean. So if you remember from a previous lesson, mean is equal to the total divided by number of values. Next, the mean equals, all right, let's add up our numbers. We've got 1 plus 1 plus 2. I don't know why I put a comma there. Let's get rid of that. It's going to bother me. All right, that's a little better. All right, 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus, don't forget about this person way over there, 15. We're going to now divide by the number of values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's simplify that a bit. So the mean equals, I really shouldn't use a calculator for this. All right, 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 15. And error, I must have had something in there. That's what I get for using a calculator for easy numbers. 28. Again, I'm going to divide by 8. And I get 3.5. So the mean equals 3.5. All right, so find the mean of the set. The mean is 3.5 hours. So we're summarizing that the student spent about 3.5 hours in the library. All right, next, let's find the median of the set. Median is the middle number. So let's list our numbers. 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 15. Let's just go with strategy 1. I had an even amount of numbers, so I had 2 middle numbers. Now, because these are the same, you can just go with that number. But I'm just going to show you what would happen if you added them and divided by 2. Well, 2 plus 2 divided by 2, that's going to turn into 4 divided by 2, which is equal to 2. So kind of pointless, right? So if your two middle numbers, if you have two middle numbers, are the same, that's going to be your answer. Okay, so the median is 2 hours. Okay. So this is a different summary. We're saying here, in summary, the students are spending about 2 hours on their or in the library. So we have two different summaries, which leads us to our third question, or last question on this scenario. Which one of the two measures of central tendency, the mean or the median, better describes the data set? So we have two summaries. Which summary is better, in other words? So we need to think, what does the data cluster around? All right, so let's look. The median is 2 hours. So 2 is our median. That's where it's located. And the mean is 3.5 hours. That's about there. Now, if I look, where's all the data? I've got this 1 point all the way over here. That's our outlier. It doesn't fit with the rest of the data. It's extreme. So all the data clusters there. So if all the data is there, would I best summarize it with 3.5, which is over here? Or would I best summarize it with 2, which is right here? I'm going to go with 2 because that's where all the data is clustered around the median, not the mean. So if Miss Archer wants to make herself look good, she's going to say, oh, my students spend an average of 3.5 hours in the library. But if she wants to be honest, she needs to be saying, no, my students are spending about 2 hours in the library, because that's where all the data is really. So Miss Archer can make herself look better, or she can be more honest in her summary. So what's our answer? Follows the basic format. We're going to say the median better describes the data because most of the data is clustered around the median, which is 2. And that's it. Again, the median better describes the data because most of the data is clustered around the median. Most of it's not clustered around the mean. All right. I hope this has helped with finding the median of a set of data. If it has not, I hope you can find what you're looking for elsewhere. Y'all have a great day.